Why? What's up? Oh, it's you, Mrs. Davidson.
Have you noticed anything unusual tonight, Tony?
No, it's been as quiet as a grave.
I'm ready. I told you I can. Well, look after yourself. I will. Now take the drug. Go on, just a spot on your tongue. It's strong stuff.
What about her?
It's all right.
She's seen me.
We'll be out of the country before she comes to. Now get out of here. Thanks for everything, Kath. Come on. Erica Davidson?
Oh, the ambulance is here, Mrs. Davidson.
Right. I'll open the inner gate for them. Kill her. Well, you can't. She's done nothing. She's a government lackey, Ros. It's people like her who put thousands of innocent people behind bars. Don't you see she's the enemy?
Please, we must go.
Kill her!
You silly bitch.
So what? Come on. We can't just leave here. We can't.
Listen, you join an army, not a hockey team. Come on!
Stop or I fire.
Run! Get out of here!
What is it? What are they doing?
Crikey, we got more coppers than a kid's money box.
Oh, let's have a look. Who are they shooting at?
Now, how do I know?
Oh, let's have a look and I'll tell you.
Oh, you wouldn't see anything. It's blacker than Vera's heart.
Oh, go on, let's have a look.
Oh, all right, you silly old rat.
Here. Can you see anything? They're shooting somebody.
You don't say.
Did you check the other block? Okay, follow with it. Anyone check the pound?
Do you reckon they're the cops?
You better take a look.
Who do you reckon they're after?
There's only one person in the pound as far as I know.
That terrorist woman.
Sounds like her mates have come for her.
so much.
What's this duck?
It is now 28 past the midnight hour.
Now, come on, you
And 48
ratbag.
hours
Give us
from
some
police.
news.
But first, we have a flash from our newsroom. An attempt has been made to break out hitwoman Jeanette Dominguez from Wentworth Detention Center. Dominguez is being held pending extradition for the suspected murder of a South American diplomat in the recent UN bomb incident. We'll have more in our news.
Well,
at
was
9:00.
that
That's just a
nutcase?
minute away.
They said attempted. That means they didn't make it. Do you think she got a bullet? Oh, it's Roz I'm worried about. All that shooting.
Maybe she's still here.
Hey, Carlton, you there? Hey, stupid!
That's enough, Smith. Be quiet in there.
Listen, what the hell's going on?
Come on, Leach. Sit up.
She's out cold.
She's taking it. Come on, get up.
Take a seat. We've got to get her looked at.
Roz, are you there?
So what are they doing to Kath?
Hey, Kath, you all right?
I told you women to be quiet.
Roz isn't there.
I'll tell you why. She's flown the coop with those terrorist bastards. In it up to her neck, stupid little cow.
What do you think she's done to Kath? Oh, she wouldn't have hurt her, surely.
Hey, the news.
Have both declined to comment. Negotiations are expected to continue over the weekend. The death toll from the Wentworth breakout so far has been 2 dead, 3 wounded. The governor of Wentworth, Mrs. Erica Davidson, was shot during the terrorist attack. Her condition is unknown. And now for the weather details, another...
Davo, what was she doing here?
They said 2 dead.
I hope they shot Dominguez.
One could have been Roz.
Oh, serves her right, silly little bitch.
Oh,
Oh, kids. They always think they know better.
is it true that the governor was shot last night, Mrs. Jackson? How is she?
She's in a satisfactory condition.
Yeah, well, satisfactory to her. She got a bullet in her, didn't she?
She's all right. Dr. Miller said she's going to be discharged from hospital this morning.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I thought we was going to be short of one governor.
What happened to Roz?
I don't know.
Well, she didn't have anything to do with the shooting, did she, Mrs. Jackson?
She wasn't holding a gun, if that's what you mean. Now, hurry up. If you want your breakfast, move it.
Well, what happened to Kathleen?
Mr. Fletcher will tell you at breakfast. Get a move on.
Bloody Janet Dominguez. We'll teach that comic bitch a bit about guerrilla warfare.
I wouldn't try. She has a wall of armed police 10 foot thick around her at the moment.
Oh, well, well. If it isn't Big Mama.
Who's your fat friend, Bee? How are you getting on, love?
Oh, I'm taking care of myself all right.
Baby kicking yet?
What, at 4 months?
Yeah, well, I'd be kicking if I was locked up inside, Chrissy.
Yeah, well, you're not, are you? You're locked up in here. This kid'll be going to high school before you get out.
Yeah, I won't be letting you out too early either.
I've got my plans. We'll be out of here sooner than you think.
Oh, gonna be a model prisoner, are we, Chrissy?
Yeah, if it means me and the kid'll be out of here sooner, why not?
You're up for murder. You'll be around for a while yet.
Meg, can you take a call in the staff room?
Who is it?
Mrs. Fletcher. Leela, what does she want? I don't know, but Mr. Fletcher left strict instructions he wasn't to be disturbed, so she asked to speak to you instead. She sounded worried. Okay, then. I'll be a few minutes.
Quiet, everybody. Mr. Fletcher has something to say.
Good morning. Now, I'm going to outline the procedure for today, but before I do, I'm going to pass on a message from the Commonwealth Police. Now, as you all probably know by now, Mrs. Davidson was shot by terrorists in an escape attempt from this prison. Now, the wound's not serious. She was very lucky in that.
Excuse me, Mr. Fletcher, whatever happened to Kath?
She's all right. She was drugged. Which brings us to the prisoner Coulson, without whose help, the terrorists would never have been able to gain access to this prison. Now, you're all going to be interviewed by the police. Any help that you can give them would be greatly appreciated. Appreciated and rewarded. So it's in your interest to give us any help you can.
What was he like?
Marshall,
rat poison with boots on. Good, I'm glad I didn't have anything to do with that Dominique's woman.
What's he after?
Oh, anything as far as I could make out. Strikes me they don't know where to look for these terrorists, and young Roz kept asking me where I thought they was heading.
Oh, that's anyone's guess.
And do you know what? I heard the doc telling Mrs. Jackson that Roz pushed the bloke who shot Mrs. Davidson. Otherwise, old David would be dead by now.
Gosh, she's a funny kid. One minute she's best mates with a group of commies, next minute she's saving the governor's life.
Well, she probably only helped them so she could escape too.
Don't think much of her chances, not with that mob. Out of the frying pan into the fire, if you ask me.
Oh, I wish we could go back to work. It's boring enough in here without having to sit around all day.
Here, why don't you spin him a yarn when it's your turn? Might do yourself a bit of good.
Good. Don't try and put anything over him.
Next. Well, don't stand there like a pack of dummies.
No worse than the dentist, ladies.
You, Smith.
Oh, think about it.
You'll come now.
I'll come. I don't mind.
Well, you're next, Smith.
Why do you reckon Chrissy's so keen?
Well, Marshall's a bloke, isn't he?
Inside. You should feel quite at home in here by now, Coulson. Most women learn their lesson after they've been in here once. But a few of you, it takes a little longer, that's all. And after this last little escapade, I'd say the VJ will give you at least 2 weeks. You know what's funny about this cell? You'd think it'd make you want to escape even more. But it doesn't. Not after you've been in it a few weeks. Some people say that it breaks a person's spirit. I'd say that it reminds them exactly who they are.
I didn't think anyone would get hurt.
You were responsible for getting the governor shot, whichever way you look at it. But that wouldn't mean a thing to you, would it? You're already inside for murder.
No one was meant to get hurt.
That's what they all say. Think about it. You'll have plenty of time.
Latham wants a word with you.
I was supposed to be off duty an hour ago. Can't it wait?
She said it was important.
This had better be good, Latham.
Roz knows I dobbed her into the cops, didn't she? God, it was me that told her how to get out of Melbourne. I copped the look she gave me.
By the time she gets out of solitary, she won't be causing trouble for anyone, not even you.
I don't want the others finding out.
They're hardly likely to touch someone in your condition.
Oh, they got other ways of getting at you.
Then you'll just have to stay out of their way.
But I can't. I mean, oh, look, Miss Bennett, I'm going crazy cooped up in that maternity block, and I want to earn some money. Well, the laundry pays most, and I was wondering, well, maybe you could get me in there.
You don't get favours in here unless you earn them, Latham.
It wouldn't have nabbed Ross if it hadn't have been for me.
It would be worth having you in the laundry after all. Be rather handy having inside information. But why should I trust you?
Because I've got a kid inside me, and I want to give it a better go than I ever got.
All right, Latham. I'll see what I can do.
And I want to be rostered to the kitchen, too, in between times.
Are you sure there's nothing else you want?
Well, I can't bloody well expect
Don't you talk to me like that.
I can't expect my kid to grow up healthy on the muck you feed us in here. I want to get some fresh fruit before it gets rotten.
Quite the concerned mother to be, aren't you? Well, just as long as we understand each other.
Fourth word. Blow.
Wind.
You got it, Bea.
She ought to know. She's a bag of it.
Let's see. A film, 4 words, gone, something, something, wind.
With the wind.
That's it.
God, I nearly did myself a damage then.
Do you want to play, love?
I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Bit late for that. Why don't you make the nursery where you belong?
I figured you might like to hear a bit of news. You're getting out of touch, Bea, now you're playing kids' games.
Well, I won't be playing games with you, sweetie.
Ros has been brought back in.
Oh.
They got her already. Rotten mongrels.
Silly little idiot. I knew she wouldn't get far.
You think you know it all, don't you?
I know I'm sick to death of seeing your ugly face.
You better get used to it. I'm working in the laundry and the kitchen from now on.
You've never done a day's work in your life.
Well, I'm about to start, and I...
What are you trying to pull?
I want to get out of this hole and away from you as soon as I can.
Oh, I see. Good behaviour. Remission. Stuff like that. Well, let's see. I figure the tops they can give you off would be a third. That leaves you with 3.5 years. You think you can behave yourself that long?
I've already done a year.
Yeah, well, Frankie tried to keep her nose clean too. But it didn't last. Some people just can't seem to keep out of trouble. And you know what the pound's like. What the hell can I do about it? Besides, if it's the only thing that's going to straighten her out, then I'm all for it.
Straighten you out?
I've been trying to help her ever since she came in here. If she wants to turn to some nutcase in a terrorist group, then I give up. Oh, flaming hell, we're out of coffee.
Oh, not to worry. Oh, that stuff Roger gives it anyway.
I've got some biscuits left. Well, at least we won't starve.
Oh, they were there.
Yeah, Pat, have you noticed ever since a dirty, rotten, stinking little thief joined us, we keep running out of things?
I never touched nothing. Every time something gets pinched, the finger gets pointed at me.
Hey, there's a very good reason for that.
What?
We know you're guilty. And so, when the next buy-up comes around, you are going to have to pay back everything you've pinched. But seeing as that's 4 days away, you are going to have to come up with something else in the meanwhile.
Fair go, Bea.
You made your bed, you lie in it.
Oh, if only I could get into that kitchen for 2 minutes.
Oh, you need inside help for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, inside help. Chrissy!
Oh, come off it, Bea. You're not even giving her a fair go. She's trying to turn over a new leaf.
Oh, I'll believe that when I see it. And since when did she ever give anyone a fair go anyway?
Well, a baby can change people.
Ah, not the likes of her.
Well, you can leave me out of it.
Oh, come on, Pat. We're not going to get her into any strife.
Well, my appeal's due soon. I'm not going to let anyone ruin it for me.
OK, Lizzie, what do you want to order from the kitchen?
You reckon Chrissy'll help us, Bea?
Of course. Just takes a little friendly persuasion. Good morning, Chrissy.
How you going, Chrissy, love?
G'day.
What do you want? I can't get all that.
You'll think of something.
Will you do it?
Okay.
All right, you heard the bell. Now get moving. Hurry up, Nathan. You were meant to be in the kitchen ages ago.
I got something might interest you, Miss Bennett.
She didn't give us any hassles at all.
What do you expect with the three of you standing over?
Just hurry up, get your breakfast and sit down.
Oh, wow, I was in a fun mood this morning. What's the matter, Fletch? Did you have to sleep on the couch last night?
If you don't shut your filthy mouth, Smith, I'll see you get no breakfast at all.
I'd watch that temper of yours if I were you, Mr. Fletcher.
What?
Well, if you can't control it, you shouldn't be working in a prison, especially a women's prison. It can lead to violence, don't you agree?
Give that back, you little weasel! Don't play the innocent with me, Birdbrain. I caught you red-handed.
Sit down, Smith. Now, what's going on
This
here?
garbage guts can't give her thieving claws to herself.
I don't know what she's talking about, Miss Bennett.
You eat like a pig, Birds.
I hope you choke.
O'Connell,
Yes?
your solicitor's here.
Just a minute, Smith. Latham should be doing that.
Oh, fair go, Miss Bennett. You can't expect a pregnant woman to carry a heavy thing like this.
Turn it over.
Eh?
You heard me, Birdsworth. Tip it out.
How the...
I'll handle this, thank you, Mr. Fletcher. I'm amazed you weren't onto them. You're getting careless, Smith. That little diversion with Birdsworth didn't fool me for 1 minute. You can all forget the buy-up this week. And I'm holding you responsible for this, Latham.
Oh, fair go, Miss Bennett. I'm not the only one who works in the kitchen, you know.
Now get back to work. And think yourselves lucky that I didn't take away all your privileges.
Oh, but we...
Get moving. After you've got those things back to the kitchen, you can clean up that mess.
Why pick on me?
Would you like to give her a hand, Smith?
You're getting real sharp, aren't you, Vera?
Just used to your tricks.
Here, how come I have to do all the dirty work?
You wouldn't want them getting suspicious, would you? And don't take too much of the fruit.
Bitch.
She's shown how dangerous she can be. If you let her out of solitary now, well, how do you expect the officers to keep control?
As far as I am concerned, she has learnt her lesson. I want her to have every chance at rehabilitation.
She was involved in a very serious incident, Mrs. Davidson.
And what if she tells the others that Latham turned her in? There'll be trouble.
She has given me her word.
But because she saved your life, are you going to believe everything that she says?
My decision is final, Miss Bennett. Before you go, Mr. Fletcher, I would like a word with you. I heard about Meg Jackson.
I wasn't aware that incidents outside this prison were of your concern, Mrs. Davidson.
I was about to say that I have just spoken to her and that she will be returning to work tomorrow. I thought you would like to know. Miss Bennett tells me that you were in the dining room when some of the women were trying to smuggle out food from the kitchen.
I hardly gave them my permission.
I realize that at times it is difficult for you not to bring personal problems to work. However, if my staff is expected to do their job properly, they need to be more alert.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
How come she gets a cushy job like that? She can't even thread a needle.
Yeah, I noticed.
I suppose it's one job that'll keep her off her feet, I reckon.
Well, what do you know?
Ross.
Hello, Lizzie. Hey? Well, they would have thrown away the key.
Oh, it's good to see you back.
Yeah, now I can stop wearing it, actually.
How did they catch up with you?
Just lucky, I guess.
David's preliminary hearing's the day after tomorrow. Angela says I've got to be there.
Well, at least you get to see him, love, even though... Well, look, he did shoot Karen. He's not going to get off.
I know. Well, if Herbie testifies against David, it's going to affect my appeal.
How come?
Herbie's going to tell him I saw Davy just after he escaped. I'll be had up for consorting, aiding and abetting, you name it. My appeal won't even go through.
Can he prove it?
It was Herbie took me to see David.
Oh.
Well, I only went to tell him to give himself up. Well, who's going to believe that?
I thought this bloke, what's his name, was a friend of your son's.
He was. But he's giving evidence for the other side, so he'll get off likely.
But he's in it up to his neck.
If my appeal doesn't go through, my kids are going to be stuck in that home for good, Bea.
Oh, there must be some way of getting to this Herbie creep. There's one thing in this world I can't stand. It's a lagger. On me about seeing David, I'll tell the truth about you hiding him the whole time he was on the run.
Otherwise, I'll break both your legs.
Dry up, Lizzie.
You got to be real tough on these rotten laggers.
What if somebody sees it? It's admitting you're guilty.
Now, what about Angela? She's passed messages on before today.
Oh, I couldn't do that. If anyone found out, she could lose her job.
Here, maybe Rosalind could just ask the governor to deliver it.
Yeah. And seeing they're such good mates, she could perhaps ask her for the key and just walk straight out of here.
There'd be nowhere to go anyway.
Ah, bully for you. It's taken you 2 escapes to work that one out.
There. It's finished.
OK. Who's got a visitor tomorrow? Oh, now, come on. Someone must have. Friend, family, someone who doesn't think you're a no-hoper.
Cat, you said you was getting a visitor, didn't you?
No way, B. I got into enough strife helping Roz. I don't want to know about it.
Now, who kept their mouth shut when I was trying to find out what Rosalind was up to? So who owes me a favour before she gets clobbered?
Oh, OK.
You make sure your friend delivers that as soon as they leave. There you are, love. All your woes will be over, as of tomorrow. How'd it go?
Just like you reckoned it would.
There you are. What did I tell you?
Give us a hand with these, will you, love?
What?
This has got to go to maternity.
Oh, OK.
OK, what happened?
Oh, Vera searched me.
That lousy little... What about the letter?
It's in a real safe place.
Well, it just goes to show you what a little mongrel she really is. Pat's been the only one to stand up for her, and she turns around and does that.
Well, Vera said it was a spot check, so maybe Chrissy didn't lag. She would have.
She told the cops where to find me.
Oh, well now, is that right?
Oh, we'll never get at it with old Bennett watching out for her.
And she's bound to tell her Kath didn't have the letter. She'll be on to us.
Oh, we'll find a way around that one. Now, what we have to do is find a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Sure you wouldn't rather be working in the nursery?
Well, the laundry pays better.
Suppose mothers will do anything for their kids, even mothers-to-be. You really want this baby, don't you?
Oh, too right. They'll still take it away from me, though, when it's 1. Even after remissions, it'll be 2 by the time I get out of here, stuck in some crummy home.
Like my 2. At least yours will be too young to understand. Mine will know.
Yeah, but you got your appeal coming up.
It doesn't need 2 of you to do that. Get going, O'Connell. Latham, I've got a little job for you.
Why is it always me?
If you want to work, you'll work. You know better than to try anything smart with me.
What you on about?
Leach didn't have that letter.
But she reckoned it went OK. Here, they're on to me.
Oh, rubbish. I gave a good enough reason why I searched her.
Well, then why did they change their minds? You've got to do something.
I'm not going to do anything, Latham. You're going to find out what they're up to. You got no other choice, Pat. You're going to have to give it to Angela.
I suppose she doesn't have to know what's in it.
No, she should give it to him, that's all.
She's coming.
Ah, not so hard.
Look good.
I've got cold feet, that's all.
Well, next time I ask you to do something, maybe you'll do it, OK?
Oh, OK, let me go. Oh.
She didn't pass on my letter.
Well, if I had, Vera would have caught me, so think yourself lucky.
Yeah, well, puts us back to square bloody 1.
I've got an idea. Jenny gets a visitor tomorrow.
Well, we can't use the same stunt twice. Vera's probably checking everyone.
Oh, I know, but I've been thinking. All we have to do is get Jenny's friend to wait outside the fence at a certain place, a certain time. We throw the letter over to her.
Hey, that might work at that. You're not just a pretty face, are you, Roz?
Mrs. Davidson wants to see you, Rosalind.
Oh, Mrs. Jackson, you got a beauty there.
Yeah, what'd you do, walk into a door, Mrs. J?
Oh, come on, Mrs. Jackson. We've all done wrong things in our time. You can tell us.
Just get on with your work, please, Lizzie.
Mrs. Jackson, I feel a bit crook. Can I see the doc?
Come with me.
And And I bet she just happens to run into vinegar on the way.
Poor little thing.
Who, Chrissy?
No, Mrs. Jackson. What rotten mongrel would want to bash her up?
Oh, who cares? She's only a screw anyway. You've got far more important problems to worry about.
Problems?
Our larder's bare. So you had better start thinking.
Oh, come on.
Right, well, I'll only take it in so you can take it out nice and easy.
The timing of this is going to be just right. Now, the minute Pat goes to see Angela...
Bee! Oh, Bennett and Mrs. Barry nearly caught me checking out the kitchen. Oh, God, it was enough to give me a heart attack on the spot.
But I didn't see you. What are you so worried about?
Oh, it was what they was talking about. Do you want to know who bashed up Mrs. Jackson?
Yeah?
It was a mate of Fletcher's, and by the way Vera was talking, he might have bashed her up himself. She reckons that Fletch even threatened her.
Well, what a pity they didn't kill each other.
Oh, to think he's still walking around. It's enough to scare the wits out of you. Yeah.
What did the doc have to say? You feeling pretty fit?
Yeah, no worries.
Good, because you're coming for a walk in the garden with us.
Why?
All set.
I just thought you might like to give us a hand. What's the matter, Chrissy?
Nothing. Just wondered what happened to Lizzie and Roz.
They've probably got something better to do.
Why don't you throw the letter over now?
It's a matter of timing.
As far as I know, it's got something to do with her appeal. And it's enough to prove she's guilty.
If Pat O'Connell wanted to smuggle out a letter, why wouldn't she do it through Angela Jeffries?
That's what she wanted us to think. But it was a ploy to keep us out of her way. I searched her just to be on the safe side.
I'm curious to know how you found out all this.
I'm only doing my job.
I'll tell you when.
I don't want to touch it. Why can't she do it? Is her friend?
Maybe because I reckon your aim's better.
What's new?
Has anyone thrown anything over the fence?
Not that I know.
Then they must still have it. What's Latham doing out here?
Would you mind telling me what's going on?
Just stay right where you are. All of you. Did you drop something, Latham?
No, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Pick it up. I don't think it's quite what we were looking for, Miss Bennett.
Hurry up, Lizzie. We've only got a couple more minutes.
Can't leave now. I'm just getting warmed up.
I reckon it's about time you and me had a little talk. Just to show you I don't bear grudges. Not even against sewer rats. Now, sit down. Where are Roz and Lizzie? They should be finished by now.
I haven't seen him.
Oh, good. If Lizzie blows this one, I'll... How'd your end go? Is she giving him the letter? Well, why not?
Because I didn't give it to her. Well, I couldn't. She brought along the barrister who's going to look after Davy and me. Anyway, it wouldn't have done any good. Angela went to see Herbie again. He wouldn't even talk to her, Bea. He even said if she kept pestering him, he'd tell the police she was forcing him to lie.
Oh, great.
So you went all through that for nothing?
Oh, I don't know. We called ourselves a stoolie. Vera's little lagger. Now, maybe if we'd been able to get that letter out in time...
Stop it, Bea. You're not going to hurt her.
After what she's done?
Pat, it was the only way I could get to work in the laundry, honest. You got to believe me. I didn't mean to hurt you. I've got to get something for the kid out of this.
I know.
Maybe keeping you in one piece isn't such a bad idea after all. Yeah. Next time you see Vinegar, you're going to tell her we're not on to you.
She won't believe that.
Well, then you'd better make her. Yeah, I reckon we can use you. What do you say, girls?
You mean sort of like a double agent?
Yeah, why not? Only we feed Vera what we want her to know. But in return, we find out what we want to know.
Yeah, good one.
How about it? After all, Pat can't keep tabs on you forever.
Latham?
Oh, hello, Miss Bennett. Oh, it's nice to see a smiling face. You know, I've always said you had a sense of humour.
Outside. I'll wipe that grin off your face one of these days, Smith. That's twice you've made a fool of me, Latham.
It wasn't my fault, honest. It was a joke. They were having a go at me, see? Look, I did all right the first time, didn't I? It's just going to take time to get them to trust me. It's a wonder they're not onto me already, the way you went barging out there, the Savo.
You've had it, Latham. After this afternoon's little epic, I don't think I'll have any trouble in convincing Mrs. Davidson that you should be moved back to maternity permanently.
Oh, give us a break, Miss Bennett, please. That letter thing, it was just a set-up to get you out of the way. They're on to something bigger.
Such as?
I don't know yet. I know it's got something to do with Lizzie and Ros, though.
Coulson. And if I know Birdsworth, this better not be another one of your little tricks.
Honest.
You shouldn't have taken so much, Lizzie.
I've pushed everything around so there'll be no gaps. They'll never miss it.
Anybody sees us dragging this thing around, they're going to know what's going on and they're going
I'll just say that we pinched too much to start. Oh, I was just saying to Ros, it'd be nice to have a good strong arm around to help us push this back in the laundry.
I don't think the governor's going to be quite so quick to trust you now, Coulson.
She never did nothing. I made her help. I said I'd break every bone in the body if she didn't help.
Shut up, Lizzie.
That's no way to speak to a lady.
Don't.
Let me go! Let go of me!
Come on.
Mr. Fletcher! He hit me, Mrs. Davidson. He hit me.
Yeah, that's right. I saw him, Mrs. Davidson. He was like a wild thing, a real brute.
I'd have laid a finger on her.
I think we can believe our own eyes, Mr. Fletcher.
They should have been back ages ago. If you've shopped them, your life's not going to be worth 2 bob.
I never.
Oh, no, I bet.
Oh, look, Bea, I'm not likely to do anything like that now, am I?
Well, I wouldn't put it past you.
Oh, you can think what you like. All I'm telling you
And
is
I'm
that...
telling you, one of these dark nights, you're going to wake up with a mouthful of knuckle sandwich.
Oh, leave her alone, Bea.
I'm not touching her.
I mean, just lay off.
Good. How much is it going to take before you wake up to that bitch?
Well, I know what she's like. She shot me too, remember? But as long as she's pregnant, you leave her alone.
And you can take that stupid grin off your face. Knocking a few of your teeth out isn't going to hurt the kid none.
No explanation, no warning, nothing. He just waded in and belted me.
Do you seriously expect me to believe that Officer Bennett is lying too? You still have time to change your story, but I might as well remind you that the charge of stealing is sufficient to put you straight back into solitary. And be warned, I have no tendency whatsoever to sympathy. I have put my faith in you, and you've betrayed that trust. Bring in Birdsworth.
Lizzie will back me up.
Oh, yes, I'm sure she will. And if she does, she too will be charged with laying false accusations against an officer, which is a very serious offence.
He didn't hit me, he just...
Go on.
Look, it had nothing to do with Lizzie, Mrs. Davidson. It was my idea. It was a sort of spur-of-the-moment thing, you know. The thieving was, too. That was my idea. Lizzie had nothing to do with it.
Pig's bum. I was in it up to here. Matter of fact, it was all my idea.
I suppose it was your idea that Mr. Fletcher hit Coulson, too.
No, that was real. He hit her all right. Thumped your beauty, didn't he, Roz?
No, he didn't.
Oh? Didn't he? I would have swore he'd hit her.
Would you just?
Yes.
Owing to your state of health, I will not be placing you in solitary confinement, but you will be confined to your cell except for work and meal breaks. You will also be without buy-up privileges until further notice. Take her away, Mr. Fletcher.
I know me way. Don't you put your hands on me. Oh, he's a violent man, Mrs. Davidson.
Come on, Lizzie.
It's no good for me old ticker being knocked about.
2 days solitary confinement. You will be charged with theft, and the visiting justice will hear the charge. Understand?
Yes.
And think yourself lucky you dropped your accusation against Mr. Fletcher. Take her away.
Mrs. Davidson,
I do not want to hear it. I am sick to death of your continual abuse of my faith in you. Now get out.
Go on, hurry up, get your meal. As soon as Birdsworth's finished her meal, she's to be taken back and locked in the cell.
What's up?
She's to be confined until further notice.
Well, how long's that?
Not much of a last meal.
Not before time. Where the bloody hell have you been?
We got lumbered.
Oh, where's Roz?
I don't know, in Saltry, I suppose.
Oh, God, no. What happened?
Either Fletch stumbled on it or we got shopped. What do you reckon, Chrissy?
Well, how would I know? Oh, now, don't you two start. At least you got off, Lizzie.
Off? Pigs I got off. I'm confined to me bloody cell as soon as I finish this muck. And they've stopped me buy-up. Oh. Well, what do you reckon now, Chrissy?
Just a minute, Latham. What the hell are you doing here?
Miss Bennett's orders.
Is that a fact?
Oh, wake up to yourself, Fletch. What pays better, the laundry or the maternity wing?
Yeah, and who's been making up to Miss Bennett?
Yeah. That's enough out of you, Birdsworth.
Just so you know about it, Fletch.
All right, Latham, on your feet. You're going back to the maternity wing and staying there. Unless you want to be put on report as well. Come on.
I've come for your tray. Pick it up!
Why should I? There's nothing much you can do to me now. I'm already in here, aren't I?
Only for 2 days. We could make it longer. You didn't eat very much. Weren't you hungry?
Who could eat that muck?
You will when you're hungry enough.
Miss Bennett? That van, who's getting out?
O'Connell, but I wouldn't worry about it. She'll be back. She's just going to her son's hearing.
But her parole's coming up soon.
She won't get that. She won't get out again.
You're happy about that, aren't you?
It makes no difference to me. Why should it?
No reason. After all, you're just like me, aren't you? In here for life. Only difference is I'm in here because I can't get out. You're in here because nobody else will have you.
Oh, for God's sake, Lizzie, if you've got something to say, say it. Lizzie?
A bloody woman ought to go on strike. I don't see why I should have to work. No privileges, no leisure time.
Well, it's your own greedy fault, so quit bitching.
My fault?
Yeah, you were only replacing the tucker you pinched from Pat, remember?
Well, it's not fair.
Fair? And when was anything ever fair in this joint? You should think yourself lucky. Poor old Roz is locked up in the pound. At least you've got us to talk to.
Ha!
Oh, huh. Yeah, it's all right for you. But with her record, she's probably going to get an addition to her sentence when the VJ comes round.
Well, I'd rather have an addition to me sentence than have all me privileges taken away.
Oh, yeah, I guess when you're already serving 300 years, what's another 10 years, more or less?
Birdsworth, the governor wants to see you.
Why?
That's none of your business.
Well, if it's none of me business, why did she want to see me?
Get a move on.
Oh, come on, Miss Bennett, you can tell me. I won't tell nobody.
Yeah, not until she gets back, anyway. Finish this off with me, will you? Thanks. You know, Lizzie's right. We should go out and strike. We're already short-handed, what with Roz and Pat missing. Now they drag Lizzie off.
What chance do you reckon we'd have?
Of striking? Buckley's.
Oh, look at that. They've nearly finished.
Well, you better hurry up then.
That's 2 meals in a row you've made me late for.
Stop whinging and get on with it.
I've lost me appetite anyway.
You're not going on a hunger strike, are you?
Might as well.
All right, come on, get it off your chest. What happened?
I put me big foot in me mouth, that's all.
What are you talking about?
I had the chance to get out for the day and I buggered it.
You what?
Oh, you don't know the bloke.
Oh, I don't know what you're on about.
Ralph Campbell, that's what.
Lizzie, who is Ralph Campbell?
The lowest, filthiest, stinkingest... Oh, forget it.
Starting work today. I always thought politicians were the only ones who thought you could run a factory without work. Well, what the bloody hell?
Bea, guess what?
This better be good.
Well, there's a new social worker.
Is there? What's she like?
He's rather nice.
Oh, he? It's a him.
His name's Paul. He's just about the softest touch you ever want to meet.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's the reason I'm back in the laundry.
You don't say.
He'd fall for anything, I tell you.
Well, if you feel for your story, he must be a goose. Are you sure you just talked?
What do you mean?
Are you sure you didn't,
Oh, Lizzie, I'm an expectant mother.
Do tell.
Besides, he don't need no persuading. He's a real pushover. I reckon if we play our cards right, we'll have him in our pockets in no time.
Sounds great.
Sounds bloody uncomfortable to me.
Number. Mind you, it wouldn't have happened unless I charmed the pants off that new social worker.
Oh, break it down, Chrissy.
Wow, it's true. I've got him round my little finger. He's a real softie.
Oh, yeah? If he's so soft, how come Lizzie's still confined to the dorm?
Because she's old.
Pig's bum. She's forgotten more about work lurking than you ever knew.
Well, I'm back in the laundry, am I?
For the time being. Bea? Oh. How are you, love?
All right.
You sure? Come on, come over and sit down. You didn't do too well, eh?
You can say that again.
Well, are you going to keep us in the dark or what?
Oh, that kid, Herbie, confessed that I'd seen David, that's all. What a bugger.
I swear to God, this kid of mine's going to be brought up proper.
One of
Oh, it
these
doesn't
days...
matter, Bea. Look, she just doesn't think, that's all.
Are you trying for a sainthood?
O'Connell, the governor wants to see you.
Is it about the trial? Something's turned up, hasn't it?
Davey's going to be all right, isn't he?
Is that it, Mrs. Jackson? I hope so. Poor old Pat deserves something good for a change.